Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry. And if you haven't ridden a bike in a long time, like over 10, 15, 20 years, you need to watch this before buying an e-bike. Stick around. All right, so you haven't ridden a bike in a long time, but you want to get an e-bike, you gotta watch what I'm about to tell you. But before I do, hit subscribe below, stay in touch with us here at 630, be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we do, and of course, new product releases. All right, so you're looking at e-bikes, but you haven't ridden a bike in like 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I see it every day. We've got other videos on our YouTube channel with lots of riders that have been out of biking for years. Some riders 20, 30, 40 years. Some riders we actually had never even been on a bike before, period. And now they see e-bikes, they love them, and they want to jump into them. Well, there are some things you must know or be aware of, and things that I've witnessed that I want to share with other riders out there getting back into the game that have not ridden a bicycle in a long time. So, couple things. One, if you haven't been on a bike since childhood or in your 20s, and let's say now you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the one thing that I see, doesn't matter what age you are, it could be someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, things don't work the way that they used to. I mean by that, it can be physically, knees, back, elbows, shoulders. Other things that creep up on people are things like tinnitus, balance issues, and vertigo. A lot of people in their younger days didn't experience things like that, and as we get older, now things like that start creeping up on us. And the reason I bring that up is because if you're getting back into biking, make sure that number one, your balance is there and you are capable of balancing on two wheels if that's what you're interested in. Now, you could take out the old bike in your garage, test it out, go to a local bike shop, see if you can still do it, or even a great idea, rent a bicycle. Rent a bike for the day. It won't cost you that much money, maybe $20, $30. You could also rent an e-bike depending on where you're located and give it a shot. Just make sure the balance is there. I would even say before you rent an e-bike, just make sure your capability of balancing is there. So if you're looking at buying an e-bike, get back on a regular bike first, get comfortable, make sure you can do it. I've seen, and again, watch our YouTube videos. We bring in riders that have not ridden for years and we ask them to get comfortable riding again. And first thing they say to us is, yeah, I can do it, no problem, right? And then they get back on a bike and they start to do it, and there's new fears that creep up. There's new thoughts that creep up. The fear of breaking a bone or being unsteady start to pop into our heads. Fears that didn't exist when we were, in our teens and 20s, and of course our younger childhood years, elementary years. And these fears are there for a reason, quite honestly. They're there to protect us, right? So we don't jump into things that will cause us harm or, make us break a bone. And a lot of these fears didn't exist when we were younger because our bodies can bounce back and we can move on, and we think we're invincible, right? As we get older, we start to realize that we want to protect this life that we have because we only have one life, and those fears unfortunately can become so consuming that it becomes prohibitive to even ride a two-wheel bike. And that's perfectly okay, especially because there are options for three-wheel bikes, three-wheel e-bikes. We have our 630 Every Journey electric trike right here. We also have other options of the three wheels where if you want to be out riding, enjoying a bike, those options exist. So it's just important that you start to, figure out, can you do it like you used to do it? If you can, great. Get back on a two-wheel e-bike or buy a two-wheel e-bike and start to enjoy that. I think it's just important to test out your balance, your mental ability when it comes to riding and bike, and see if you're in the same place that you were when you were last riding. Now, in addition to that, the other thing is your physical ability. Has your physical ability changed at all since the last time you've been on a bike? And what I see is a lot of people want to believe their physical ability has not changed when it definitely has. And that's okay. I think that's part of the aging process. We all need to accept that. Fortunately, there's a lot of products out there, especially in the e-bike space, that can accommodate different body types, different physical limitations. I have two examples right here. Like I said, the tricycle and also a step-through easy mount frame. So if you can't lift your leg as high anymore, you can easily step through this frame, mount and dismount, and get on and off easily. It's important, and especially with e-bikes, because if you choose an e-bike that's not right for you, meaning it's too powerful or it's not sized properly, because of the power you get from the motor, these can be more dangerous than a regular bicycle. Now, anything can be dangerous if not used properly, and that's why I'm saying come to terms with your physical ability, how high you can lift your leg, how much can you bend your knees, how much can you move your arms, your back, your shoulders, how long are you comfortable sitting on a seat for. All these things you need to be real honest with yourself when you jump back in. And again, we've made videos before with other riders I advise you to watch. They thought their physical ability would be one thing, they got into it, and then they realized that it was actually different than how they remember it being, which is okay. You just want to make sure you get the right e-bike that is perfect for where you are at. The other thing I will say, and I kind of mentioned it before, is if you're getting back in, or you want to get into e-biking and you haven't ridden a bike for a long time, get out in a parking lot like this, take out a two-wheel bike and just practice. Just get back up and running, take an hour, just enjoy it. Remember the joys of learning to ride a bike again and get comfortable. Ride around the parking lot, and once you're comfortable, go out on the streets a little bit to make sure that you're ready to take that jump into e-bikes. It's kind of like going back to when we learned to ride a bike. A lot of us don't like that regression. We want to think we don't need to do that. But again, it's just about being safe so you can enjoy an e-bike for the long term. Now, also, if you're getting into e-biking and you have not ridden a bike for a very long time, e-bikes are different and they are more powerful. So you're gonna have a pedal assist motor, you're gonna have a throttle, you're gonna go fast. If you want to, I should say, because on these motors, you can turn them on and off and you have the ability to use or not use them, but e-bikes go fast. So make sure you ease into that speed, you get comfortable. If you've never gone above 10 miles an hour on a bicycle and you can hit 20 on an e-bike, it's gonna feel fast. Now, you're gonna get used to that over time, but it's just important that you realize e-bikes are powerful, and the faster you go, the worse an accident can be at a higher speed. So all I'm saying is get comfortable. And lastly, always wear a helmet on an e-bike. Again, e-bikes have the capability of going 20 miles an hour with just a throttle. Wear a helmet. That's a different product than a bicycle. A bicycle, you're gonna, meander along at 2, 3, 4, 5 miles an hour if you like. And a lot of people I see, unfortunately adults, do not wear helmets. I say always wear a helmet, but it's one thing to not wear a helmet going 5 miles an hour on a self-propelled bike. It's another thing to not wear a helmet on a electric bicycle where you're traveling at speeds of 20 miles an hour. So if you haven't ridden a bike in a long time, you're getting into e-biking, I hope this video helps. Hit subscribe below. And if you have any questions, don't forget, comment below or email us, the team at 630.com. Also call us 310-982-2877. And if you're in the market for an e-bike, take our proprietary body fit quiz on our website, answer a few questions about your body and your life, and we'll recommend the perfect e-bike for you. Also, we have a 30-day test ride your bike policy. If you don't love your e-bike in the first 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. And in addition to that, be a part of our community. We have a huge community of 630 riders in our Facebook pedalers group and also in our app. You can ask them questions in advance of purchasing. You can also make new friends and see how people are tracking their rides on the app. Once you have your e-bike, make new friends, find riders in your area, and of course, track your rides. And lastly, if you are getting into e-biking, we have two great bikes to do that. One is our electric tricycle with easy on-off. Of course, it'll balance itself. And our simple step-through right here, which is easy mounting and dismounting. If you want to see these products, click the links below in the description. So thank you for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.